Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Talk Show, the podcast where we talk, laugh, and help you improve your English at the same time. I'm Rex.
And I'm Melissa. Today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Daniel, and he has quite an interesting story to tell.
That's right. Daniel used to work in a big corporation, a fancy office, a good salary, the whole package. But one day, he walked away from all of it.
And today he's going to tell us exactly what happened. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm a little nervous, honestly.
Don't be nervous. We're very friendly, I promise.
Most of the time.
Okay, Daniel, let's start from the beginning. Tell us, what was your life like before the big change?
So, I worked at a financial company for about 8 years. I was a financial analyst.
Ooh, that sounds impressive. What does a financial analyst actually do?
Basically, I looked at data all day. Numbers, spreadsheets, reports. I helped the company understand where their money was going and how to make more of it.
That sounds intense.
It was, but honestly, for the first few years, I loved it. I felt important. I was good at my job. I got promotions. I got raises.
Let's pause for a second. Daniel just used two very important work-related words. A promotion, P-R-O-M-O-T-I-O-N, means you move up to a higher position at work. More responsibility, usually a better title. And a raise, R-A-I-S-E, means your salary goes up. Your boss gives you more money. So if your boss says, "I'm giving you a promotion and a raise," that is a very good day.
A very good day indeed. Okay, Daniel, so you were getting promotions and raises. That sounds like a dream, right?
On paper, yes. But after about 5 years, something started to change. I started dreading going to work.
Dreading. D-R-E-A-D-I-N-G. This is a strong word. It means you feel a deep fear or anxiety about something that's coming. It's stronger than not looking forward to something. For example, I'm dreading Monday morning. That means the thought of Monday morning makes you feel awful inside. Daniel says he started dreading going to work. That's a serious sign. Something is wrong.
So what was going on? What made you start feeling that way?
Honestly, I felt like I was living someone else's life. Like, I went to university. I studied finance because everyone said it was a smart, stable career. My parents were proud. My friends were impressed. But inside, I felt empty.
That's such a powerful thing to say. Living someone else's life.
Yeah. I'd wake up every morning, put on my suit, go to the office on the 14th floor, stare at screens all day, come home exhausted, eat dinner, go to sleep, and then do it all again the next day. It felt like I was on a treadmill that never stopped.
I love this expression. Daniel compared his life to a treadmill. You know, the machine at the gym where you walk or run, but you don't actually go anywhere. When we use it as a metaphor, a comparison, it means you're working very hard, but you feel like you're not moving forward. You're not growing. You're just going through the motions. It's a really common expression in English. I feel like I'm on a treadmill. Have you ever felt that way?
So Daniel, what was the moment? The moment you thought, okay, something has to change.
It was a Tuesday in November. I remember it clearly. I was sitting in a big meeting, like 12 people around a huge table, and my boss was presenting some new strategy. Everyone was nodding, taking notes, looking very serious.
Very corporate.
Very corporate. And I suddenly realized I hadn't heard a single word in 20 minutes. My mind had completely wandered.
My mind wandered. This is a great expression. When your mind wanders, it means your thoughts drift away from what you're supposed to be focusing on. Like a lost dog that wanders away from home. Your body is in the meeting, but your mind is somewhere else completely. We all know this feeling.
And do you know where my mind was? I was thinking about a pasta dish I'd made the weekend before. I'd tried this new recipe, a cacio e pepe, and I was mentally replaying every step. The texture of the pasta, the way the cheese melted, whether I'd added too much pepper.
You were having a daydream about pasta in a board meeting?
In a board meeting. And that's when I thought, wait, this is what makes me happy. Food, cooking. Not these spreadsheets.
So, had cooking always been a passion for you?
Always, since I was a kid. My grandmother taught me how to cook. I'd spend every weekend in her kitchen. The smells, the sounds, the feeling of creating something from nothing. I loved everything about it.
That's so beautiful. So what did you do after that meeting?
I went home that night and I told my wife, I think I want to quit my job and become a chef.
Oh, wow. And what did she say?
She said, Daniel, have you lost your mind?
Have you lost your mind? This is a very common English expression, and it doesn't mean someone is actually crazy. It's what we say when someone surprises us with an idea that seems shocking or unrealistic. Like, you want to climb Everest next month? Have you lost your mind? It expresses disbelief. Daniel's wife was surprised, which is completely understandable.
Okay, so his wife thinks he's lost his mind. Daniel, walk us through that conversation. How did it go?
It was not easy. She was worried, understandably. We had a mortgage, bills to pay, a 2-year-old at home. She said, Daniel, you have a great salary. You have job security. Why would you throw all of that away?
2 important words here. Job security means you feel confident your job will continue. You're not in danger of losing it. It's very important to many people, especially when they have a family. And a mortgage, M-O-R-T-G-A-G-E, is a loan you take from the bank to buy a house. You pay it back every month for many years. When you have a mortgage, financial stability becomes very important. So Daniel's wife had very valid concerns.
She wasn't wrong. I understood her fear. So I didn't say, I'm quitting tomorrow. Instead, I said, can we talk about this properly? Can I make a plan and show you?
That was smart.
I had to be smart about it. So for the next 3 months, I did research. I looked into culinary schools. I spoke to chefs. I calculated how much money we had saved and how long we could survive on that if I had no income for a year.
You actually made a plan?
A very detailed plan, and I showed it to my wife. And she read through everything, and she was quiet for a long time, and then she looked up and said, Okay, let's do it. But if we run out of money, you're going back to the office.
She sounds like a very practical woman.
The most practical woman I've ever met, and I love her for it.
So then came the moment, the big day, when you actually resigned. How did that feel?
Let's quickly explain. To resign means to formally quit your job. It's more official than just saying, I quit. Typically, you write a resignation letter and give your employer notice, usually 2 weeks or a month, before your last day. I walked into my boss's office on a Monday morning. He was a good man, tough but fair. I sat down and I said, I need to talk to you about something. I've decided to resign.
And what did he say?
He leaned back in his chair and looked at me for a long time. Then he said, Is this about money? Because I can talk to HR about a raise.
Oh, interesting. He thought it was about money.
That's what bosses usually think. But I said, No, it's not about money. I've decided to pursue a completely different career. I want to become a chef.
How did he react?
He was silent for about 10 seconds, which felt like 10 years, by the way. And then he said, I have to be honest with you, Daniel. I think you're making a mistake. But then he added, But I also think you're brave, and I respect that.
That's actually a really beautiful thing to say.
It meant a lot to me, and then he shook my hand and said, Go cook something amazing.
I love that. Okay, so you handed in your resignation. What happened next? How did it actually feel when you walked out of the office for the last time?
I stood outside the building. It was a cold evening. I looked up at the 14th floor, my floor, and I thought, I'm never going back up there. And I felt 2 things at exactly the same time.
What 2 things?
Terrified and free.
Terrified, Terrified, means extremely scared. Not just a little nervous, very, very afraid. It's stronger than scared or frightened. Daniel felt terrified and free at the same moment. That combination is very common when people make a huge life change. Fear and excitement can feel almost the same sometimes.
Okay, Daniel, fast forward to today. You went to culinary school, you trained, you worked in kitchens. Where are you now?
I have my own small catering business. I cook for private events, dinner parties, small weddings, corporate lunches, ironically.
Corporate lunches, you went back to the corporate world, but this time as the chef.
Exactly. And I love every single moment of it. I wake up and I can't wait to start working. I stay up late planning menus. My hands smell like garlic most of the time.
The dream.
The dream. It's not perfect. Some months are harder financially, but I feel like myself. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm living my own life.
Daniel mentioned harder financially. This adverb relates to money and finances. When something is difficult financially, it means you're struggling with money. Maybe there isn't as much coming in as before. Financial difficulty doesn't mean disaster. It just means you have to be careful and smart with money. And for Daniel, that trade-off, less money, more happiness, was worth it.
Daniel, last question. What advice would you give to someone listening right now who feels stuck in their job, who feels like they're on that treadmill you described?
I'd say, don't make an impulsive decision. Don't just walk out one day and say, I quit, without a plan. But do take your feelings seriously. If you feel empty doing what you do, that matters. That's information. Talk to the people you love. Make a plan. Give yourself permission to imagine a different life. And then, take the leap.
Two great phrases to finish. Impulsive means acting very suddenly without thinking or planning. An impulsive decision is one you make in the heat of the moment, without considering the consequences. Daniel says, don't be impulsive. Plan carefully. But then, take the leap. A leap is a big jump. Taking the leap is an idiom that means doing something brave and risky, even though you're scared. Like jumping off a diving board. You take a breath and you jump.
Daniel, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It was truly inspiring.
Thank you for having me. And to everyone listening, your English is getting better every day. Keep going.
We love that. Okay, before we go, quick recap of today's vocabulary.
Let's go through the words and phrases we learned today. Rex, you start.
Number 1, promotion, moving to a higher position at work. Number 2, raise, an increase in your salary. Number 3, dreading, feeling strong anxiety about something coming.
Number 4, my mind wandered. Your thoughts drifted away from what you should focus on. Number 5, job security, confidence that your job will continue. Number 6, have you lost your mind? Expression of shock at a surprising idea.
Number 7, resigned, formally quit a job. Number 8, terrified, extremely scared. Number 9, impulsive, acting suddenly without thinking. Number 10, take the leap. Do something brave even when you're scared.
Amazing! 10 new words and phrases from one story. That is the power of storytelling, everyone.
Now here's your homework. Leave a comment below and tell us. Have you ever taken a big leap in your life? It doesn't have to be a career change. Maybe you moved to a new country. Maybe you started learning English. Tell us your story.
And if this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe to the English Talk Show. New episodes every week.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.